There we go. Big red button pressed. And ready for another stream. Zoom out to actually make sure Fuso fits in the frame. And today I will be playing my Japanese battleships. Mainly to grind the Ise. And on the other hand also trying to figure out the new survivability for battleships. Hello there, Nick. So without much waiting, let's just get straight into it. And hello there, other people. African Gulf and battleships, that's going to be interesting. I'll wait a few seconds to actually spawn in. I like the Harana and the Congo. But yeah. And the ships I'm taking, of course, 7-0. I'm just waiting for some people to spawn in, so I'm not the first to spawn at these close ranges. Let me swap these around, because I do actually want to load SAP first. Because it's incredibly unlikely to fire a battleship first. No enemy battleships yet. We have another friendly Nevada with us. I see a Des Moines at the back there. I have completed the Japanese tree, except for the new Ise. So I'm busy grinding that again. I see a crunch shot in the back there. We'll have to deal with that thing later. And an enemy Nevada. Gonna silence my secondaries for a bit. And wait. There we have the lead indicator. And let's try that salvo for sight. I think there's a bit too much lead, so that should not be at that Des Moines. I do need to be very careful about the Nevada and the crunch dot to see what they're shooting at. I spaded most Japanese battleships, just the Fuso and the Harana that aren't spaded. And the only reason I didn't spade Fuso is because it's the last ship I researched. Let's try one-shotting a Harana next. Rank 4. I have to remember what actually is in that rank, but it's most likely going to be the Aoba, if I remember rank 4 correctly. The shells against Helena look decent. And almost. Pardon me. And let's load the AP. and deal with some of these battleships. Mainly the Kronstadt. There's the Kronstadt that's locked onto that Helena. I'm still loaded to sap. And I want to swap to AP. We're currently on the upper hand when it comes to killing their AI cruisers. And I might actually want to try and maintain that lead. But first, let's hurt Kronstadt a bit. Lost a barrel. That Des Moines at the back is taunting me by just sitting there. So let's fire one of them. And keep on going. It's also that Des Moines is actually shooting me. I haven't, because I haven't gotten the time to grind that entire attack tree out yet. I do like grinding, but I'm not gonna grind out the attack tree in 2 days. That Helena is bombarding our friendly Nevada here. So that's the sister Nevada. What's the stream about? Battleships. That's what it's about. Because there's a survivability change of this update, and I have a new battleship to grind, so why not just play my Japanese battleships and just see how much the survivability changed. And there goes Helena, gone. I'm going to wait for my range or my lead indicator to appear. And then I'll fire the salvo. I'm not Dutch, I'm Belgian, but close enough. That's Helena, only one more salvo should do the trick. And there we go. Our friendly is being bombarded by, I think, the Sheleshnikov. Nope, I despise cities with a passion, so I do not live in the big cities. When it comes to Well, you see how I'm dealing with the bots now. I just fire at them with the 4-inch guns. And one by one reduce them to ashes. Although I have been lucky by not being constantly targeted by them. Sam, stop. But yeah. The best way to actually avoid being targeted by the bots, by the zombie cruisers, is to just wait a minute before spawning in, or just 30 seconds. Let the rest of your team spawn in, and then spawn in. Because by that point all the AIs already have their targets, and you can just move without any real consequences. Oh. I would say my condolences for living in Brussels, but oh well. I don't actually know the city all too well. It's a battleship. I want the Pittsburgh or Baltimore, whatever it is. Come on. There it is. And off we go. I don't actually know if it makes it more survivable against bombs. I haven't really tried much out. I don't know, I just have... Well, you say good Wi-Fi. I did my stream... My internet did actually cut out on Monday because I got lost internet for half an hour. But yeah. Internet's good enough. Most days. Why are the Nevada's turrets like not look... Cruncher is firing at us. Time to fight battleships. The thing is, the diving shells. I have actually gotten some shots that were impossible for this update. Like, I managed to ammo rack a Perishkaya Comuna from, I think, 7 kilometers away. And I know for a fact that I would never have been able to pull that shot off before this diving shell change. There we go, shell room detonate. Oh, the shell room just blew up. I am, oh, by the way, Floof on top, I am from Flanders, not Wallonia. I don't... You see, I haven't actually really tried it out with cruisers because I was never a good... I never managed to get diving shells off. Like, there was a period in the past where diving shells were a really big thing for cruisers and I never was able to pull that off. I just don't know how to aim to actually get diving shells. This cruiser's trying to capture a point, I think. As a 5.0 light cruiser, you try to avoid them. Depending on the heavy cruiser. HE spam can do stuff, depending again on the cruiser. If you can knock out the main guns with HE, sure. In general, if you're fighting an opponent above your weight class, try to avoid it as much as possible. But if you have to fight it, if you have no other choice than engage something, try to knock out the guns, the bridge, set fires, set floodings, that kind of stuff. Just do whatever you can. Just gonna get into the cap. And yes, Floof, I do speak Dutch at home. But for obvious reasons I wouldn't stream in Dutch. Although I have considered it for an April Fool's joke to stream in just Dutch. I did not change the smoke effect at all, no. I just have the tendency to zoom out immediately after I fire. Because the smoke does not render if you're staying in if you stay in your gun sight for as far as I know. Okay, capture Bravo. And I'll try to move on to Charlie. I don't think I would keep many viewers though if I were to do an entire stream in Dutch. That cruncher is burning up, so it is not really a threat. Helena should detonate from that salvo. Almost. I do not really want to divulge where I live, Floof. All you need to know is that I'm in the province of West Flanders, and I'm not going to tell you anymore. I am fairly close to the French-speaking border, though. So I can vaguely understand French, but I just don't speak it. I lost our Nevada, but I kind of saw this one coming. How good is Admiral Graf Spee? Not very. It's a very situational ship. When I say understand French, it's when I'm hearing it. Even then, my French is really minimal. Again, I have not been able to try the French battleships because I, unlike some other I am not officially like a CC for Gaijin, so I can't request vehicles to try out, unlike actual CCs. So I have to grind that tech tree manually, and I am nowhere near their battleships yet. Why am I stuck? Because it's shallow, okay. For as far as I know, the Hipper is a solid heavy cruiser. I don't know if it's good, since I don't own it either. Yes, that salvo missed. The hell, I'm not gonna fire as many low caliber rounds as it wants. It's not going to kill me. The thing is, I'm going to Austin Power myself and run straight into the island and have an island right behind me. What I wouldn't do for some mobility upgrades. I don't speak Italian. I speak English, I speak Dutch, and I understand the bare minimum, well, a small bit of French, and that's it. Okay, now I should be able to make it onto Charlie, if I just go dead ahead. There's a crunch set still. Father. But as you can see, my survivability, I've barely lost any crew from the beating I've been taking. And most of the shells I've been taking is 5-inch or 6-inch fire, which in the past would bleed a battleship dry. I don't think the Crunchlet has any main gun shells left, so I'm not worried about it at all. I don't know to what ships the survivability change actually extend. I know it's all battleships, but I'm unsure if it's also to battle cruisers. Like, does the Glorious and the Ikoma count? I don't know. I'd probably actually have to check. They are pretty squishy. Mainly the gun turrets on Japanese cruisers are very squishy because they're unarmored. They have an inch of armor and that's it. Oop. Oh! Oh, that's not good. What launched those? The thing is, I'm not too worried since they're PT boat torpedoes. But what launched them? God damn it. I don't think I can prevent that PT boats from getting onto Bravo. I might be able to actually hold them. Guns lower, for love of God, lower. There we go. Capture point secure. Of course, their cruisers are now actually moving onto the point. And I cannot stop them. Enemy aircraft incoming, so let's put gunners on aircraft only. I am not too worried about an SU-6, I don't think the SU-6 has that great of ordnance. There we go. Not going to sink the Crunchlet anytime soon. That Helena is being a bit risky. And I just fired it full salve into the island. More aircraft incoming. Oh, come on. Front guns, surely. Didn't pen. Kingfisher, I'm not worried about Kingfisher. That Kingfisher and getting nowhere near to Charlie, that's for sure. I wish our Wyoming would kind of get a move on to Alpha, but I think there's still an enemy in Nevada up. Come on. Reload these guns. And that's gonna be a sinking Helena. Where did the Kingfisher go? I do not on the Fuso particularly, because for some reason the 5-inch anti-air guns are also paired with the 6-inch guns. So I do not want those 5-inch guns to not fire at air targets. The best playstyle for Japanese heavy cruisers, in my opinion, is probably just staying at range and kiting away. In general, you don't really want to get closer than 7 kilometers. Probably going to be playing Ring Around the Rosie now that crunched that. It was a bit too late to know. Change my mind. Yeah, like if I currently had my secondaries together with primaries, the 5-inch guns would not fire at the aircraft. Yep, I've been playing Ring Around the Rosie with the crunch shot, so he's going to capture Charlie. Not that it matters much, as I'm too slow to capture Alpha, although the Wyoming is just about to get into Alpha. Drat. I made a mistake. That might cost us the match. And there we go. That's why I want the 5-inch guns to fire at targets. At air targets. And there we go. That was a very good match. A very good opening match in the Fuso. And that was enough to get his Duster Star for today. Okay. And there we go. We get FPE. And let's go with rudder replacement next. Make those turns a bit sharper. But yeah. Let's get straight into the next one. But yeah, the most obvious change about the survivability for battleships is that smaller caliber cruiser fire just doesn't do anything to you anymore. Battleship's guns do still hurt, especially on Fuso, because I think her citadel is pretty high. But other than that. The reason I have the Kika with me is because it has a 800 kilo bomb. And it's a fighter. My attacker has the same payload, but it gets the attacker spawn point cost, and the Kika has the fighter spawn point cost. Of course, it doesn't have a bomb sight like the P1Y1 does, but yeah, I can try. I did indeed put a talisman on Harana. I think I did it back in the 10th anniversary sale because I had to grind out Fuso. The B7A is not a bad choice, I just like the speed of the P1Y1 a bit more, even if it is a bigger target. Kind of a bad spawn point to go to the left. Why did I spawn first? I'm never making it left-hand turn. Well, let's use it island on the right then. What do we have? I do not see any enemy battleships yet. I don't think those are ones. No, those are light cruisers. So this might be a good match. I don't think I'll even make this turn. So I'll just head straight towards Alpha then. Looking at all targets. And off we go. Ooh, we have a battleship. That's a Hyuga. I don't feel too threatened about a Hyuga, but we have to keep an eye on that. The Hyuga is making a mistake by turning broadside like that. We do have a Kaiser with us, and I'm the only other battleship. Okay. Hyuga is reversing for some reason, and I think we'll say hello to the Hyuga with the next salvo. Sure, I can take the Conga next game. The Hyuga is being quite clever about its survivability, going speed juking. Changing its speed forward, going reverse. Trying to make itself a more difficult target to hit. And I think, yeah, I'm a bit too far behind. I want those two front shells. Never mind, there goes the Hyuga. The Hyuga is such a tragic ship to try and play. But I can't let those powerful guns just roam free. Backup Hyuga. And he's probably going to fire at me with a vengeance. There we go. The Hyuga has very, very little protection for the frontal magazine. I'll show it after this battle. But it's basically, I think, a 3-inch plate, and that's it has for the frontal magazine protection. And I think those sap rounds are looking good. That might actually detonate them in one again. No, they were too high. That was definitely the correct lead. Lost an engine. That's a bit too much lead, I think. Maybe those rear two shells will do something. Nope, too high as well. Let me just... Oop. That's all caps. And boom goes a Hyuga. Back this up. Now to deal with all these cruisers. There's one in the back there shooting me. What else is shooting me? It was the same dude. It was the same guy. He had a backup Hyuga. And that's a Congo. That's going to be a bit more difficult to try and kill. Enemy torpedoes ahead. Luckily they're very slow. So even with my late response I can still dodge them. But there is indeed an enemy destroyer up ahead. That Helena is sinking a shot at. Stop the repairs, my engines are back anyways. With a bit of luck that Sheleshnikov is going to go down with that damage. Let's keep an eye out on the flooding on it. I can't quite tell if it's flooding or not. Let's swap targets to the Helena anyways. Too far forward. I still need to be very careful about that enemy destroyer, since I do not actually know what it was. It was a Congo, right? I saw spawned in? The thing is, even if you hide the front of the Hyuga, the rear magazine is just as vulnerable a magazine. It's a Hatsuharu, was the destroyer we saw. Okay, good to know. Speaking of the devil. 6-inch guns. That is the main difference between Ise and Hyuga, yes. Better AA and better protection. I think the Ise is also a bit faster, but I'm not sure. And the float planes, of course. I think, I'm not entirely sure, again I don't have the EC, I don't know what the survivability is like. But it does look like the EC's ammo racks are a bit more protected. If they're going to be impervious to ammo rack detonations, that's a different question. No, Fuso doesn't have the exact same problem as Hyuga, but she does still have exposed ammo racks. Especially, I think the middle ones are a bit more exposed on Fuso, and the rear one. The rear magazine is particularly exposed. The front magazine isn't as vulnerable, luckily. Still need to be careful about the Hatsuharu. Yep, this is probably already a sinking Des Moines. Yeah, that's already sinking. It's KR. Shall we try and see if we can hit an SKR with these guns? Yes, by 1mm, Britain has the biggest ship-mounted guns at the moment. With 15-inch. 381mm. Whereas the Germans have 380. Too high. No, that's not the new. That's just the old, the SKR-7 Trollboat. I'm okay with having squad mates. If you wish to join me in 7-0. Just trying to bait at Hatsuharu, basically. Because it's going to be somewhere behind me. Unless it already sank and I just didn't know about it. What happened to our guy in the Congo? He must have gotten around somewhere. Aircraft? Scout aircraft from the that's from the Congo, without a doubt. There are no night battles in Naval, sadly. There just aren't. I think what you can have for Naval is like sunset or dawn. And that's the darkest you'll ever see naval battles go. But they're very rare. Oh, look at the destroyer. And there we go. Now, chicken would like to squad over me, right? And there we go. And yeah, we're going to do Harana next. It should have the same survivability changes for as far as I know, but the armor is just much thinner on Harana than compared to the Fuso. And yeah, the Hyuga. This right here, oh, it's not even 3 inch, it's 56 millimeters. This right here is the big old weak spot. As you see, like, even that is not really that big of a plate. And directly behind it you have the shell room. So if you just penetrate around here, you'll detonate the ship instantly. Whilst the Fuso, I have been detonated in Fuso quite a few times as well. Like, you have a big old gap here in the rear with just a 32mm deck. And there's a 67mm deck behind it, and then straight into the magazine. I'll play the Congo / Harana, but I don't actually know if I can showcase it. So if we just fire here, that's sapped, so that won't pan. Of course, these shells aren't penetrating there because of the reader protection. Like, see, that's the crew compartment now. It's a little... What they did is they just squished the crew compartments so they lie behind the main armor belt. They're still there. They're just a lot smaller and a lot deeper in the ship. But yeah. What else is going to tell? Set 43. Let me actually look at set 43 again. Yeah, it is just a 4.3 destroyer at 4.7. And in my opinion, Z43 kind of suffers at 4.7 because a lack of an actual armor-piercing shell starts to really show when you have to constantly fight cruisers. Chicken is ready. Ooh, I need to go to my Japanese lineup. Why does it not want me to go to Japan? You can see me clicking. There we go. No? What's this? So I can click these, but I can't click Japan for some reason. you guys are seeing that I'm clicking, right? God, let me see if I can just... That's bizarre. I think I'll have to be right back and just restart my game. So let's see if this... Again, I'm still here, I'm still going to be talking. But let me just restart my game. That is, I have never seen that bug before. It should be this one. Ah, yeah, that's true. The Bravi is high on my list of ships to get, but I just do not enjoy the Russian cruisers. The PK seemed pretty tough. I've dueled a few PKs already in the Fuso, and it seems pretty tough. But on the other hand, I've also managed to magazine a PK from 7 kilometers away. I can, but the thing is, I don't like Spokojny either. So I'd rather just actually grind my Russian cruisers trying to spade them than just playing Spokojny endlessly. Okay, game should be restarting, so let's just hop back over to that. There we go. I will say the Tashkent might actually do it for me, because I do like the Tashkent. Now let's see. Can I click Japan? I can click Japan. We can continue. If it actually wants to load, there we go. Chicken is still ready. Off we go then. But that is the first time I've ever encountered that bug, that I just couldn't select my countries. The Yubari is not good. Yubari used to be okay-ish back when it was first introduced, but now don't get it. The 140mm guns have been just ruined ever since they swapped from distance-based fuses to time-based fuses. I'll actually show you, because I do own Yubari. So for their sap shells, which in and of themselves are okay-ish for 4.3, a fuse delay of 0.001 seconds. It's that fuse delay that makes sap rounds act like high explosive, and we all know that high explosive is next to useless. So do not get Yubari, it will not end well. Miyoko. Firepower-wise, Miyoko is good. I know it's good, it's 10 of those 8-inch guns. However, Miyoko is very, very fragile. Like, she's incredible. Like, the crew compartment layout of Miyoko is very easy to just sink by crew loss. It is a cruiser I plan to pick up whenever it goes on sale. But yeah. Mikuma. I haven't played those cruisers in a while, but Mikuma's okay-ish. I do find the AP shells a bit wonky. They don't... To me, it feels like the Japanese 155mm AP shells don't really like angled armor, or can't really deal with angles too well. Although I don't actually remember too well if that's the case or not. But Mikuma is okay. Actually, now to think of it, between Miyoko and Mikuma, I'm not entirely sure which of the two I would pick. Personally, I'd probably pick Miyoko, because I really, really like those Japanese 8-inch guns. And the anti-air is also a plus. I don't actually... Like, I've never really tried HE spamming in the Mikuma or Suzuya, because I never really saw the point in it. I might have to try it. African Gulf again, okay. So again, we'll just wait. And I'm going to do a similar deal as I do with the Fuso. Let's swap these two around. So that's perfectly fine. Something like this. I haven't played Kako in ages, and I remember not liking it. I know people who swear by it, that it's a really solid cruiser, the Kako. But yeah. I haven't played. I know that the dispersion on the Kako is kind of painful, together with its long reload. But I've heard mixed things about Kako. Battleship-wise, they have a Kronstadt, they have a Scharnhorst, and we have, of course, me. And that's it. I do not like these odds. They have two Kronstadts and a Scharnhorst. I am probably not going to survive too long in my Congo. Also don't like being in the front of this cruiser pack. I think I have to load the AP and deal with Kronstadt immediately. I'm gonna try and turn away a little bit. Yeah, I really did. Oh, I lost one of my elevators apparently. Let's repair that. There goes a shell room on the Kronstadt. That's a good first salvo. Because those shell rooms are the types of shell rooms that if you detonate them, that turret no longer has any shells. So that's one of the two turrets on that Kronstadt already gone. I know I'm flooding, but I want the repairs to be done first. There we go. And now we just motor on out of here. Not any more stressful than any other ship type. The thing is, if you want to be a good battleship captain, you need to know target priority. You need to know when you have to start shooting battleships and when you have to start shooting cruisers. Like, I think that's the problem, especially with the zombie plague. If you're in a battleship and 80% of the enemy team and your team are cruisers, you need to do all the work to make sure you win. When it's either with dealing with enemy battleships or dealing with the enemy cruisers. So you could say it's a bit of a bigger responsibility being a battleship captain, but it's not any more stressful. Wait, that guy just got detonated by Des Moines. Well, lucky me, because that was the guy shooting me. But yeah, we are already losing the zombie fight, so that's... oof. Well, the thing is, no, you don't always want to shoot battleships. Every now and then you should also be thinning out the cruiser herd. Because if you can see, if they start getting a lead in cruisers, you are going to start taking a whole lot more fire. Granted, that fire shouldn't be doing too much to you anymore. With the survivability change. But still. Okay. Time to swap to cruisers. And I'm going to turn 180. I do not know. Diving shells, most likely. Because remember, that's something that's reared its ugly head again. Shells can dive through the water again. Yeah, they're not looking too good for us. Okay, let's try and detonate that Helena. Oh, we'll probably win on caps, that's for sure. But we might not. And that's the problem. Because the thing is, as soon as our cruisers are dead, and I am dead, there's nothing stopping the Crunchshot and the Scharnhorst from just pushing down the 3 capture points. Okay. I could have sworn it barely hit that Helena, but I'm not going to complain about a free kill. Let's see if we can maybe deal with that Crunchshot a bit. Yeah, it's gonna be as explosive as the other light cruisers to go through. I don't have it myself, but I know it's just as explosive as the other light cruisers. No, I don't actually know why they're ignoring the caps. Especially that Crunchshot over here. And there goes another shell room. The Crunchshot is a very good battle cruiser, but I get the feeling that people often mistake it for a well-armored battle cruiser, which it isn't. It just so happens that its guns are very good. I mean, yeah, he is broadsiding me as well, which doesn't help. I think he realized that. Oh, there he goes, broadsiding again. Oh, did I get both shell rooms in the front? Or is his magazine, his elevator just knocked out? That's not gonna be nearly enough. Ah, actually. Could I get the rear shell room? Nah, not really. Enemy is capturing Alpha. My gunners to all targets. Scharnhorst is much better armored. Crunchshot is, I think... Crunchshot does have the better guns, but the Scharnhorst is much tankier. And Scharnhorst also does have torpedoes. That Pesca is brave. But I do get the feeling I knocked out both shell rooms on the front guns of that Crunchshot. Battleship in front of me. This is a Wunderton. Wunderton should be able to get detonated, although I'm not sure if that's possible at this kind of ranges. Also need to make sure there's no cruiser trying to sneak its way onto Bravo. Now where do you detonate a Wunderton again? Is it just the front turrets or the mid turrets? Well, that was in between the turrets. Let's get the rear guns on target. That was again in between the turrets. Enemy torpedo, but it's nowhere near me. I'm also not worried at all about a torpedo coming from that thing. Yeah, little bill. Yeah, panning at that angle was a bit of a shot in the dark. He's drive-by a Kronstadt. Another torpedo heading my way, but I think the match is literally going to be over before that torpedo hits me. And that was Harna, I guess. But I'll first spawn it again next match. Because that was not really a good example of the tankiness of it. Or lack thereof. And we get an open ocean map. Let's see. We'll wait to see where the zombies spawn. And then we'll spawn with them. Yep. This that's the thing actually, this update only blue water ships around it. No coastals whatsoever. Seems they'll spawn middle, so we'll spawn middle. Des Moines, that is a battleship, looks like a dreadnought. No, battle cruiser, that will be a Wonderton then. That is a Bayern. What else do we have? Cruiser. And cruiser. Yes, but do remember I only got shot at by one Kronstadt, which then got detonated by Des Moines, and I didn't really take that much fire from battleships during that match. We see a Des Moines, so that's the first thing we'll target. As that should be a pretty easy detonation. The shells are not looking too shabby against the Des Moines. A bit too far forward maybe, and way too high. Let's try that one. That's looking better. Lead is looking alright as well. Still too high. I do not know. I do not actually know my naval history all that well. Or that kind of physics. Because even in War Thunder you actually kind of want to be at longer ranges in battleships. Because then the shells dive a bit deeper into enemy ships. Where all their squishy compartments are. Their engines, their magazines. Oh, we do have a Arizona up ahead as well, okay. Another cruiser. But I'll focus Des Moines first. I do not actually mind open ocean maps too much. What I do not like though is when you get open ocean maps 5 or 6 times in a row. That I get sick of. But other than that, I don't actually prefer either these or the normal maps. Oh yeah. I find it kind of stupid that you have to hold down left click to follow shells instead of just pressing a button. That's why I don't have it. Because I tend to hold down my mouse button quite a long time after a fire. And I don't want to get into my shell camera all the time. Can I finally get a detonation as Des Moines? There you go, ask for it and you receive. That is a Mikuma. With the Arizona in the background. But we have another Des Moines to maybe detonate. The secondary is not going to do much of these ranges anyway, so let's just switch them off. Conserve some ammo. And my plan is to charge down the Arizona. And Des Moines dodged my salvo. You do not need to use AP against cruisers at all. Not with the Japanese. Even at these angles I'll go straight through it. I won't go as deep when against the heavily angled targets as I would with AP, but I don't need AP against cruisers. See? Don't need it. Do I really want to shoot at a battle? Not really. Load the AP. Arizona is showing broadside. And what we're going to do is I'm going to turn hard right. So that I go bow in towards the ships over there. And so that I don't have to keep turning to keep the Arizona in my gun sight. Oh, there's a cruiser right there. Is it still alive? No. The lead I had was kind of good, I just need to range it a bit better. Too high. Against cruisers, the SAP always did that. Japanese SAP always... I could always do that. Especially the mines, you don't need to go into the waterline to detonate the mine. But I know that even before this update, I could detonate Helenas with 14-inch SAP. Still very high. Not quite enough lead either. Enable my secondaries as well. And that's too much lead, because it seems the Arizona is slowing down quite a bit. And some splash damage to shell room again. Maybe I should just try and go for the engines. There we go, shell room detonation of the front turret. So that turret is out of action. I mean, my favorite nation period is Japan, because I like the look of their battleships. And their guns do still have a soft spot in my heart. And I don't actually have that many other battleships in nations. I have the Americans and the British. I didn't like the British much, and I still don't, thanks to the very slow turret reverse. The Americans are fine, but they're also kind of prone to detonations. And I don't have any other nations of battleships yet. And there we go, Arizona detonated. That was looks of a diving shell though, by the looks of it. Yeah, exactly. No, I saw a penetration below the waterline there, Mag. Oh yeah, that's right, the Arizona has a flat bulkhead. I forgot about that. You can't bow tank with American battleships, because you just have a flat bulkhead. So you go straight through the nose of them. And there go the shell rooms of Helena. Aha, it seems the Arizona has gotten into Alaska, and I thoroughly pissed him off. Shall we see if SAP can detonate in Alaska? Yeah. Although I might soon with Alaska shooting me. Might be receiving some good damage. I mean, those are bots, so of course I wouldn't pay attention. The other guys, I don't know. I think they have their own problems by the looks of it. Just want to see what that lead gives me. Bit more forward. Bit lower. Also turret. And those were too high as well and too far forward. Interesting. Time for me to angle in a bit. And my squad mate has already dealt with the cruisers in front of me. That's a fire in the turret. That needs to be extinguished quick. Was it turret fire, I believe? No. The most beginner-friendly battleship or battlecruiser. Now that's a tough one, because none of the first battleships are actually any good. Well, I say that the Russians, although they're not as good as they used to be. I'd actually have to look through the tech trees. And there we go. I think there's an aircraft up. On my secondary, just trying to shoot at something. Oh, there's an aircraft up. Wyoming? I like Wyoming. But he also detonates quite easily. That's a brave soul trying to go straight for the hardener like that. Whilst the Japanese don't really have that good long range or even medium range anti-air, their short range here. Their short-range anti-air with all of those 25s will do some work. Okay, you need to go, battle class. Okay, where is it, battleship? Where is it? Aircraft is called out. Yeah, if you can get to the Scharnhorst quick, get to it. It's a really good battleship. Granted that its gunfire power might be a bit lacking, in other aspects it's really good. And it's not that difficult to get. If you just get through von der Tann and then immediately into Scharnhorst. And that is not a Nevada. That is a Marlborough. Yep, there was the enemy aircraft that was called out earlier. He ripped his own wing off, apparently. Yeah, I can see it. It's a dreadnought nonetheless. And that took me a bit more damage. But I think most of the damage I took was, of course, that one crew compartment here. And the turrets getting knocked out. Quite a chunk of my crew. Is that another destroyer? It's an AI, okay. And I'm splicing or straddling this Marlborough like crazy. That's our friend in the American battleships, by the way. Oh, that was. To keep turning in. Although I can stop my turn now and be fine. There goes the PT-656. I mean, both. Well, no, not both. Out of the 257 premiums for Germany, the Eugen is definitely the better of the two. When it comes to aircraft, I have no clue. I'm not that familiar with premium German aircraft. Marlborough doesn't seem as tough as it used to be. Its crew compartments are still pretty high on the ship by the looks of it. I'll have to check that out. It's been a while since you played the PK though, hasn't it, chicken? Yeah, there's nothing else to worry about. I'm going to switch my guns to anti-air to see if something's up. I mean, the Fritz-Sax isn't really that good of a bomb to use in Naval. Especially at higher BRs, you don't really want a bomber to just sit around. At higher battle ratings, you much rather have a bomber to just ditch your bomb and fly away as fast as possible. And the Heinkel 111 also isn't really that good at climbing. So it'll be very difficult to get out of anti-air range. And that Marlborough is sinking. Yeah, that too. Ooh, another battleship. A backup Marlborough. Just gonna never mind, I don't have to finish off the destroyer anymore. And there we go, battle over. Still not really the best showcase of survivability, but that's not really in my control. Also, I think if I'm not careful, I'm going to spade my harden out bit rate. There we go. Yep, 2 more upgrades. But now we'll play the Fuso again. And chicken is ready, so off we go. I'll be honest with you, not really. Ever since the zombie horde, there's not really many tips I can give, other than try and spawn a bit later. Try to consciously be, aware that you have to spawn later. Wait for like half your team to spawn, then join in. And then just choose what you're going to do. I don't really know how to describe it. But sometimes you want to play at range, play at range. If you don't want to play at range, find an island and make it your waifu. The thing, especially about taller islands, just use it, hide your ship behind it, and try and engage enemy ships one by one. By slowly getting out of cover, slowly getting into cover, that kind of stuff. Not all maps really allow for that kind of stuff, I know. But yeah. And yes, this is the new map. You can indeed see it with battleships, which is a bit stupid, but oh well. How different is Ise from Fuso? I don't know, since I do not have Ise yet. Very. Very. It's 5 kilometers to the cap, so 10 kilometers to their spawn. And that looks Japanese to me. Well, won't you look at that, another Fuso. Oh yeah, the dummy naval base, let's see. Better armor as well, Nick. Ise has better armor around the magazines, from the looks of it. I just want to get that third turret on target. You lock. And fire. And that should knock out that base in one. That is not a Fuso, that's a Haruna. And there you go. One salve is all it took. Oh, compared to Fuso, the AA is actually a bit worse, I'd say. Or roughly similar. Is it faster? I don't actually know if the speed is any different. In general, it's not much different. Just a different gun layout. Slightly different armor layout. Yeah, it is better than Hyuga, that's for sure. Compared to Fuso, like, the Ise is similar to Fuso. It's a direct upgrade to Fuso, or it should be. The, not the predecessor, the successor to Fuso. So we have 2 Congos that we know of. Do you also have another Haruna? Okay. Ooh, poor lead. That Haruna seems to be looking at me, but I want to confirm it. Nope, it is not looking at me. I will not shoot at it just yet. Yep. That's a good hit on that Helena over there. There's an enemy coastal around, good to know. That or a recon plane, but I want to believe coastal. Those shots are looking decent. Bit too high maybe? Yeah, a bit too high. My mission now is to just wipe out as many cruisers as possible. Fire can be dealt with. Let's just get a lead indicator on this guy. Okay. It's a naval base that's shooting me, good to know. Though these naval bases really don't pose any threat to a battleship. Not these small ones at least. Other than being annoying. I'm gonna put my gunners on all targets, now that I think of it. Because there's still going to be a coastal vessel around somewhere. Decent hit, but too high. Yes, I've read it as well, Nick. And they said they're going to revision the progression of naval. That, I think, would be the minimum they could do. That you could research a coastal vessel with a blue water vessel. Although I'm not quite sure how research efficiencies would work with that. But that would be the bare minimum they could do. It might actually make me able to research some of those coastals I really want to get. It was a pier. Well, look at that. This mine's still on it. Lots of the anti-air has been destroyed. That's why I'm barely shooting him. He's dropping his mines. Which I'm going to have to deal with at some point. And torpedoes as well in the water. Not that I can see. Oh, no, not that I can see. It was just a normal S100, so not an S701. Nope, don't see any torpedoes. Yeah, I find it a bit odd that they were so vague with naval. But in general, even for the other stuff, I don't only play naval. And for the other stuff, it seems very promising. Like making the folded vehicles basically half the RP cost. Putting more vehicles in folders as well. All very promising stuff.
We need to put more pressure on the enemy. They're winning. Destroy the target.
You can actually shoot these naval mines, but it's very finicky. You can shoot them to destroy them, but it's very, very finicky. There we go. That one blew up. There we go, that one blew up as well, and I think there was one more, there we go. Torpedoes, but they missed by a country mile. You're not able to shoot torpedoes. You're able to detonate them with another explosion. But I don't think you can shoot them with like main guns and stuff. Goodbye, Hana. That is a Scharnhorst. That was our guy in the S100, I think. Yes. But I think if you're that close to a torpedo that you can drop depth charges on it, you just dodge them. Unless you want to try and save a buddy, maybe. But yeah, a depth charge should be able to detonate a torpedo. The thing is, if you're that close to a detonation, who knows if you'll get damage or not. It seems there's another coastal vessel in front of me. Let's give it my attention. It's an AI. That Congo seems seriously damaged. This is all a bit too high. I went straight to superstructure. Cruiser. I think it's time we deal with a Scharnhorst and see how tanky it is. There's no real need for me to go to Alpha. So I think I just won't. But now to deal with the Scharnhorst somehow. Just keeping a good eye look around for any coastal vessels. But I highly doubt there will be any. Now, granted, I am shooting at a broadside Scharnhorst within 5 kilometers with 12 14-inch guns, but it is taking damage, quite a lot of it. That radar is going to eat quite a few of those shots. Just one of them. Okay, now it's at 44%, but I already no longer know where to shoot it. I'll try it. I'll try it with the next salvo. Like, aim that kind of short. I'll single fire the salvos, single turret. Because Mag is very curious about diving shells, I know. And the thing is, I'm going to get this salvo off before he gets in front of the island. I think I'll just have to fire. This did nothing. And I don't think I'll reload in time to try for the rear magazine. Nope. Why must you do this to me? Please don't let me shoot a Kuma. But he's the only target available. Poor thing. Yeah. I feel bad. But then again, he's purposely upturning his like 5-0 lineup with a Harna. So I don't feel too bad. And Scharnhorst is staying behind the island pretty well. And game over. There we go. And next up, what do I want to improve rangefinders, definitely. And then more speed upgrades and maybe shrapnel protection. And make my way quite quickly towards the Ise. That's good to know. Squeaky chair, goddammit. But yeah. A lot of the battleships feel a lot tankier. Well, they are a lot tankier. Especially for cruiser fire. Which is not really that good of a thing. Although you also do have to consider that these battleships are a full up tier for cruisers. And ships tend to not really perform too well against other ships of full BR higher. But that's still no excuse. Let me actually check the NTR count. It's 8 triple and 33 single, 16 duels. I think the EC has a lot less, doesn't it? Yeah, just 10 duels. So the Fusa is definitely better in the NTR department. In general, I find it weird that they gave us the EC in that fit. It would have been so much more interesting if we got the battle carrier EC. Harna has way more NTR. Yeah, 30 triples, 2 duels, and 24 singles. But yeah, lots and lots of NTR. Quite a long queue, bit unusual. This will persevere the queue times. It's nothing unusual or unheard of for a naval player, having to wait in queue. The annoying part is I can't even really do any of my battle pass tasks at the moment, because these require quite specific vehicles. Not quite sure how I'm going to do that, because I don't have the PE8, and the Lancaster can be kind of tricky. I might be able to do the P1Y1, although that'll require a lot of effort. And how many kills is it? 5. Not too bad. Let's change this task as well while we're at it, because I'm not playing destroyers. That's fine. Oh really, chicken? That's nice. I don't think I've ever actually played a vehicle enough to get a free ace on them. There's quite a few Japanese ships I'm close to free aces, but don't think I've actually ever gotten one. The few ace crews I do, I just bought. It's pretty close as well. Interesting. And of course, yeah, these were my air crews, so that was kind of useless to look at. Let's see. Tsuki's pretty close. As is my Kiyoshimo. I say close, it's still like 150,000 RP. I loved the Sokote back in the heyday of Coastal. Because back then, you used to actually have mostly flat seas. Mostly. And I like those little things. They're funny little things. I have good memories of them. Well, I have good memories of them, but I know for certain that they're trash. Everybody knows they're trash. But they're dinky, fun little boats. And the second one is actually not that bad. The second Sokote. And we got Franz Josef Island again. I'm still going to first spawn my Fusa, because that's the vehicle I'm spading. Gonna wait for the team to spawn in. Any familiar faces? Not immediately, as I can tell. Just gonna spawn in, I'll spawn in. Oh, is it raining? God, I just love the look of the Fuso. By the way, whilst we're still in the opening phases of this battle, I am planning to make a video summarizing the update. And I should have that done next week. But I'm still letting it simmer a bit and letting all the bugs make themselves apparent. There's also not really that much to talk about for Naval this time around. So I should have this done pretty quickly. Although I can count quite a few times where I said, oh yeah, I'll have a video done next week for it to be a month or two later. But we'll see what'll happen. What on earth is this Moffat doing? I'm going 27 kph. You can get away from me. But I guess I'll just slow to a halt. Come on, little Moffat, get out of my way. Enemy in Charlie already, that's going to be a scout plane then. For a second I confused that Mikuma for like a battle cruiser. Also, if you're talking that Mikuma, it is flooding severely. And the Moffat in front of me died, okay. He will not be missed. Because it is a Moffat after all. There's so many cruisers for me to maneuver around. Actually, is that base? That base is still operational. Why is that base still operational? That base will no longer be. Oh, we have a hood with us. We don't see many of those. And there goes that base. Enemy aircraft is heading towards Bravo. There we have our enemy Scharnhorst. I should actually stop my turn and head back towards my original heading towards Bravo. Because it seems the hood might actually capture Alpha. Quite a few of my rangefinders have been taken out, so let's prepare those. Yeah, lots of aircraft updates. I noticed quite a few of my Americans' aircraft needed respading as well. So that's a pain. Another cool thing though, this update, is that we got our first propeller-driven aircraft with a drop tank. Actually, is it the first? I think the A6M3 is the first. Also one of my favorite Zeros, the one of the clipped wings. And I think it's time to give the Scharnhorst his attention, I guess. Yeah, the battleship survivability changes definitely made battleships next to impervious from light cruiser fire. I think a dedicated heavy cruiser could still do quite some damage. But you basically need a battleship to take out a battleship now. Or bombers, of course. Bombers will also do the trick against battleships. I see torpedoes in the water, but I should be able to... Oh, damn. Actually, it's not in the front of me, but will I be able to accelerate fast enough? Ooh, that's a bit dicey. That's very dicey. But I think I should be safe. Ooh, by just a few meters. Just trust it, and you'll be safe. Our hood doesn't seem to be taking Charlie, which I thought it would do. That's a shame. So we definitely need to get a move on towards Bravo. And sadly, getting a move on is not really in the dictionary of a Fuso. Oh yeah, kind of. About the, I'm sorry, I completely missed the comment. About going into a battle with the PE2 no longer having any ordnance. I had the exact same bug. I talked about a few friends of mine with it, and it might be because a lot of those PE2s now have custom loadouts. So they, for some reason, no longer get any loadout if you take them into a naval battle. Which is very fun. Very fun. Can we even make it to Bravo in time? I'm not sure. Like we just have to full speed towards Bravo in order to make it on time. There's another naval base. Let's see if AP can do the trick at one-shotting it. Yep. I think Chicken might make it in time to Bravo. Another Deutschland. There we go, Brav's getting captured on time. It's Scharnhorst. Can we sink it? Ouch! What is that shooting me? Is there another battleship around? There's something behind the cliff, but I can't look onto it. This update, on this one particular map, there are naval bases. They can pose a threat, but they're really easy to take out. The hood can deal with that Scharnhorst for like that. No, don't worry. It should be a dead Highlander really. But let's just fire one salvo, never mind. That cruiser is shooting me, so we'll fire back. And he's been taken out. I am very tempted to try and go for Alpha, but if I go for Alpha, I'm taking myself out of the fight. And I do not want to do that. That Makuma is not having a good time. I saw that, but I don't think he'll survive for much longer. I just saw him launch a plane, and what I'm going to do, I think he might be trying to go for Alpha, but he won't have enough time. With a ship sunk, he'll only have a minute in that plane, so he should not have enough time. I do also like the reworked reloading. It'll now reload in much larger batches. An H8K, I'm not actually too worried about an H8K. Like, at all. Is it equipped with bombs or torpedoes? I can't tell. Well, it doesn't really matter what it's equipped with, it's not going to get close enough. It's torpedoes, and I did see him drop one. The thing is, an airdrop torpedo is never going to kill a battleship. Because you cannot set the depth on an airdrop torpedo. Ah, and we did manage to flip Charlie. Good. Why did you spawn that in front of me? Why must you spawn a Furutaka in front of 14-inch guns? What actually happened to the Scharnhorst? I guess it's just still sailing around somewhere. Because I have no clue. Nope, it's still there, just sailing away from the objective. Good to know. I'll try and get into a position where I can fire upon him. Although, I might have to fire on his Congo first. Let's clear the barrels of sap against this Furutaka and load the AP. Scharnhorst managed to sink the hood. It's not ideal. And there goes a chunk out of that Harana, or Congo. I think I'll angle against the Congo and try and help out with the Scharnhorst. Never mind, Scharnhorst been sunk. He dead indeed. I think I've committed this turn. So let's keep this turn going. I think by the time I can fire another salvo against that hardener, the match is going to be over. Please come give me another air kill. Please give me another anti-air kill. Yeah, well, yeah, good match again. Quite a long one. But I'm not gonna complain, that's a good chunk of RP again. And improved rangefinders. Then on to propeller replacement. I'll actually check out my rangefinders. Oh, now they give 100% accuracy. Very cool. And a freeze for chicken. Must be getting quite some, yeah, working up quite some RP for my Fuso as well. Yeah, very much faster compared to the 6-minute one before. Way to spawn. Let the enemy cruiser spawn first. Although in a battleship it really doesn't matter, you don't melt from enemy cruiser fire. And I got quite a good spawn. Quite a few light cruisers, as is usual. One enemy battleship, but by the look of that superstructure it might be a dreadnought. See, this is something I really don't like about the zombie stuff as well. Is because if I get flipped around because of the Susia, I'm going to have a really hard time getting back on course. But it seems that Susia might actually be a player, or that Mikuma, not Susia, because he's slowed down quite a lot. That's the battleship, right? Yes. That looks like a dreadnought. Which dreadnought? I don't know. Enemy coastal vessels, so we'll just beeline our way towards capture points. And I really should put a coastal vessel in my Congo crucial, because that's the same crucial as my Picho too as well. So I have no excuse to not bring a coastal vessel with me. Two coastals, good to know. Very good to know. Can I identify what it is? It seems American. That's 100, never mind. Gonna enable my gunners to all targets, seeing as there are coastal vessels around. And I need to work on my speed for my Fuso. Because 39 kilometers an hour isn't too bad, but it is still quite bad. Yeah, we ran into those guys before. This was the guy in the MA264 that ripped his own wing off, like 3 or so matches ago. We have a friendly Scharnhorst with us as well. Did that shell go underneath the ammo rack of that Des Moines? It almost looked like it. That is definitely a British dreadnought. And a Von der Tann. I think it's a Bayern I'm seeing in the background there. Good hit. Sadly no magazine detonations or shell room detonations. And again, I wasn't really aiming for it. And there we go. Another Helena to the bottom of the ocean. Shells out in my direction, but they're light cruiser shells. So nothing too much to worry about. Can I get a lead? Okay, my intuition's correct already. You just fire a salvo before he disappears. Now, can Chicken get the cap? Because I know that the B cap is a very annoying one to try and get to.
If we don't do something fast, the enemy will win.
Right around now is when I wish I had float planes on my Fuso as well. Yeah, I noticed that earlier as well. Where is our Scharnhorst actually? I want to see what it's up to. We'll load a sub-salvo for that light cruiser and prepare AP for the battle cruiser. And welcome back, Sam. Now back to AP. That is a German dreadnought of some variety. Because I know that that guy was playing Germany. And Chicken is maneuvering for the B point. It's a very annoying capture point to get to. So he's doing his best. And I'm going to gun for Alpha. And that's a Bayern. Okay. Please, Sam, don't remind me of that clip. And I'm not going to explain it for the stream either. It's too much cringe. You should be able to detonate a Bayern for as far as I remember. But where do you shoot him again? And the Bayern is shooting back with very big guns. There we go, Bravo captured, so this ticket bleed has stopped. No, Sam, they really don't. And neither do I, to be honest. I'm shooting where I should be shooting for a detonation, but I'm thinking I'm heading too high. I think I might be too close to that battleship to detonate them anyways. And that's our Brandon von der Tann. That's a very big hole in the side of my ship. Quite a few cruisers around still, but I want to fight the battleships. Can I even arc my shells over those buildings? Let's try to not beach yourself, but the beaching did throw me off course. I wanted to just reverse out of here. It seems I'll have to do a multi-point turn. Okay. Sure. Okay. I will not question how 130mm round just killed the Bayern.
巡洋戦艦前方 7000m ターゲット特定10巡洋艦100 7000m 機関最大戦速ターゲット特定
There we have our friend in the dreadnought.
100 6000m
That looks a bit Colossus.
機関停止 敵に命中 面舵いっぱい
That's a burning dam in the background.
資金弾 K 巡洋艦前方
Enemy aircraft spotted.
ターゲット特定
Yep.
K 巡洋艦60 3000m ターゲット特定雷撃機60 8000m 火事中央了解火事中央ターゲット特定戦艦100 6000m 戦艦前方 6000m
I sense an 800-kilo bomb in my near future.
雷撃機包囲60 5000m
Come on, 5-inch guns, open up.
面舵了解面舵
So, we'll find out whether or not this survivability change or not. I can also just dome his pilot. Never mind.
500m
I was about to say we could test out how resilient the bombs battleships have become.
巡洋艦
But the 25 reigns victorious once again.
ターゲット特定巡洋戦艦100 6000m ターゲット特定戦艦包囲
Enemy Scharnhorst.
5000m 直撃 敵に命中 K 巡洋艦左舷 5000m ターゲット特定巡洋
It seems the Von der Tann wants to pick a fight.
2000m敵に命中敵艦が傾いて失速している巡洋戦艦
What happened there?
操縦しましたターゲットに命中直撃敵艦は炎上
Trying to find the last bits of crew compartments.
巡洋戦艦左舷 6000m
Ah, you just sank. Okay.
水面の下に
It eventually bled you dry.
チキンだ直撃敵艦が傾いて失速
There we go.
チキンだ
Taking out the turret still does its work.
チキンだターゲット特定巡洋戦艦
Enemy Scharnhorst.
5000m 操縦しました有利班は被害対応区画から排水せよ
Shall we try out if we can get the diving shells to work?
K 巡洋艦左舷
No, hold on. Cruiser. Rotate those big old guns around.
ガン更新了解取りかじいっぱいターゲット特定軽巡洋艦
You know, I was thinking earlier, I'm quite happy with the third rotation of these guns.
アジ
But getting the third rotation upgrade might actually do me quite well.
直撃面かじいっぱい
I have to reverse and just deal with the cruiser first.
ターゲットに命中
Although he's gonna continue shelling me like that.
ターゲットに命中
Well, it seems to be going forward still, so we're gonna keep going forward too.
ターゲット特定
A hood.
戦艦包囲
Ah,
5000メートル
can we detonate a hood? The Bismarck did it, and I don't see why I wouldn't be able to. There's an aircraft flying on the deck there. '25 is shooting high, although I don't think it matters much.
ターゲット特定巡洋戦艦包囲80 5000メートルターゲット破壊ターゲット特定巡洋戦艦
And game over again. Interesting choice of backups. The two most useless frigates for Japan, the Akoma, because why not? STB-1 isn't bad, and it's Type 75 MLRS. Good meme vehicle. But okay. Alright, that's your last one. I'm gonna do one more. It's... Thank you for being able to join me as well, because having a squad mate in a battleship can be really useful. Even if it's just to focus fire, to call out targets. That kind of stuff. Let's see how long the queue will be on this match. But okay, this will be the last match for tonight. And then we go into the weekend, of course. Monday. What will I do on Monday? What I'm going to try and do by Monday is get the German and British destroyer. And maybe the Bravi. Maybe. Or work my way up the French tree a bit more. I'll see what I'll do. Actually, I need to double check what happened to that poll I made earlier today about whether or not I should diversify my streams. African Gulf is not the worst to end it on. I think most of the people watching the stream currently have seen me make that poll. But earlier today I made a poll basically saying if I should stream other games other than just War Thunder Naval. And the results are pretty much as I expected. So I'll have to look into what I'm going to do. What I think I might actually do instead of like replace... The original idea was to replace every Wednesday stream with a different game. What I might instead do is just like the first, I don't know, Saturday of a month, I'll do a different game. So not on the usual days and not nearly as regularly. Just to see how that goes, if people are interested in it or not. I think that might be a better idea. Because there clearly is some interest to see me play other games. But I'm not entirely sure if I can make it work for me. And the main reason I really brought it up on the poll is not because I get bored of War Thunder Naval or anything like that. I'm just not sure if it's really that much fun watching me play the same thing over and over and over again. Pardon me. Especially since I use these streams mainly to grind new stuff. I keep playing the same stuff. I shot sap at that crunch, that was not a good idea. Like, I recently picked up Carrier Command 2 for myself, because I remember we were talking about it on stream, I think Monday we were talking about it. And I was kind of interested in the game, and it's pretty fun. Although I do want to try and play it with more people. You can play it single player, but it's a bit boring. And then of course there's the Naval Classic Battle Stations Pacific. Or is it Midway? I think it's Pacific. I have both of them. And surely I must play that game on a stream at some point. Stuff like Ultimate Admiral Dreadnought, on the other hand, I don't think is quite as fun as streaming it. Although the campaigns can be a bit boring, I think, to watch. But I've done none of the single missions for Ultimate Admiral Dreadnought. I've played Battle Station Pacific a little bit to just see if I actually like to play it or not, or if I could stream it. And it's so clunky getting used to those controls. But I'll see what I'll do. I think I'll start off with like just the first Saturday of a month. I'll do a special, quote-unquote special stream. And see how far that goes. All these battleships hurt. Oh, we've got that squadron on our side this time. Our coastal vessel has captured most of the points. Perfect. I just want to finish. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good at all. I think it's from the crunch, that isn't it? I need to angle in a bit better. Yeah, a little more angle would help, I think, as well, Mag. It certainly would. And I just repaired the engine as well. So let's just turn in and deal with these cruisers on the flank first. Although the enemy is already capturing those capture points with their own coastal vessel. S-100, why you didn't stay and defend those, I don't know. Yeah, I quite like that change as well. It's not as obnoxious anymore in the middle of your screen. Taking a lot of damage. Okay, Frank Knox. Not something you usually see at this BR. Yep, I've like not a lot of damage, but a lot of fire has been thrown my way. But still being at 32% is pretty decent. Actually, very good, not pretty decent. That guy seems to be flooding. That gives me no reason to not shoot him. Damaged barrels from the turret is already destroyed, so we're fine. The Helen I shot earlier is sunk. S-100 is making his way back to Bravo in the hopes of defend it, I guess. Let's shoot at some of these undamaged cruisers. There we go, enemy on Bravo. Let's see if we can maybe help out. No. Fire has to be dealt with first. There we go. Magazine detonation at Helena. We are not doing well though. Our team has lost quite a few bots and they haven't lost any. Interestingly enough. Ideally I'd make it onto the A point to reload my gun. But I don't think it matters too much. We're recapturing Bravo, that's good to see. And our S-100 won the coastal battle, perfect. Enemy aircraft up. He's gonna call it out. You know what I'm actually curious about? If I do this, and I do... is it report or targeting? Targeting, isn't it? There we go. Altitude is about 0. I thought there was a Kronstadt around this island, so I don't really want to go around the island. Yep, the S-100 surely did its job well. That'll probably be my last salvo against that Helena. Is it a PT boat? No, that's the F-6F, that's crashed. The thing is, I'm not entirely certain if that F-6F is going to just get into another PT boat. Because the PT-6, of course, you can spawn 3 times. I should probably load the AP. I don't even think my sub can do anything at this range. Although that Mogami is, in a nutshell, survivability changes. Battleships have become a lot more tanky towards cruiser fire. And I'm just figuring out how that actually comes into play. I'm currently playing 7-0, but this is the last battle for tonight. So I'm sorry about that. I'm just gonna move in order to defend Bravo. Can we maybe try and get a cheeky diving shell? No. That aim was also a bit too far in the rear. There goes the rear shell room on the Kronstadt. I'm just gonna hold position around Bravo to make sure it doesn't fall into enemy hands. Although, yeah, I was about to say, Alpha might fall to enemy hands. Oh yeah, these 14-inch guns are amazing. A lot of the Japanese guns are actually really good. Past 5.7. Even before that, they're not bad guns, they just did their shells dirty. Not necessarily. I don't particularly care about one turret being down. I just wanted to be around Bravo to make sure the enemy wouldn't capture it, but it's too late for that now, isn't it?
Most of the zones are under enemy's control.
You can get ammo by being on a capture point that you own. You can regain ammo. Just like in tank battles. The 15-inch guns are indeed the only guns bigger than 14-inch. But the Japanese is just 356 like any other 14-inch guns, like the Americans, like the... Actually, who all has 14-inch guns? Not many now that I recall. And there goes the last shell room on that Kronstadt. Yeah, the King George V is also a battleship type I'm looking forward to. I'm not decapturing Bravo because the PT-6 is still on it. But surely he'll be tempted to torpedo me. Surely. Hello there, my friend. The thing is, that gun turret is not shorter, it's just deeper in the turret, that barrel. And yes, it is to do with the blast of the guns not interfering with each other. Or as far as I remember. Or is it to save space for reload mechanisms? I don't remember. But I thought it did that to counteract the blast wave interfering with the guns. PT-6 has been dealt with, but I'm no longer the cap is the problem. And I don't think I can get my own fat ass back into it. I do not know, since I do not own the ISE. In terms of anti-air, the Fuso is better. In terms of armor, survivability, speed, I don't really know yet. I'm not quite sure yet. Oh, that's a very low health Scharnhorst. If you will play self, we should be able to finish that one off. But I think, yep, them sinking the tower now was enough tickets to lead them out. An okay battle to end it on. Definitely. And I got my propeller replacement. Next up, probably shrapnel protection. I am going for the ISE right now, that's for sure. I'm trying to think, did I actually die in the Fuso at all this stream? I don't think I have. I don't think I died a single time. Actually, now the thing, hold on, let me think. Did I lose any of my battleships this stream? I don't think I did either. I think I did once in one of the earliest battles tonight. No, due to crew loss, but I'm not entirely sure. I have lost a few battleships off stream though. I've lost Fuso like twice to detonations and one time to just bleeding out. Like, they're not impervious to a good battleship captain, but they are still very tough. And with that, I'm going to end it for tonight. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you back on Monday with either some French Navy stuff again or any of the other new ships. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on Monday.